Hi, learners and families. I am hopping on here to kind of give you the rundown of what next week is really going to look like. I'm sorry that this is coming out so late, but I was up at school passing out iPads today, and Miss Thomas and I have been working really hard on putting together a schedule to kind of give you an idea of the structure and kind of something to follow. We thought that would be a useful tool. So I'm finally getting to sit down and I've got my list of things to go over. So let's get into it. So a couple things right off the bat. For learner iPads that are from the district, you can't change that 1920 password. I understand you've got younger siblings, maybe you've got older siblings, maybe that you don't want getting into your iPad. However, if you change that 1920 password to anything else, the district, it for some reason can't support the iPad anymore, and you either won't be able to get into your iPad at all, or if anything happens, that's it. Technology can't help you. So you can't change that 1920 password. You can't download any new apps. I know we have a lot of really cool, fun apps on Manager and in the App Store, but just because that device has gone home with you for educational purposes does not mean that you can go download any app that you want and be playing on it. Again, this device is meant for your education. It's not meant for your entertainment. It is not there to be a babysitter for you while your parents work. It is to be used as its intention, which is to be a tool to help you learn and be able to complete your schoolwork while we're doing distance learning. Okay. That takes me to appropriate usage. Okay, the district can still see your history and what you are doing on that device. So keep in mind that when you're on Safari or when you're doing whatever, parents, it's your job to be monitoring them. I know that you are probably working from home, and that can be kind of, throwing kinks in the schedule, and it's hard. I understand. But we also want our kids to be safe, and we want our kids to be on task when they're doing their distance learning as well. So make sure that you are monitoring that, and learners, make sure that you are doing the right thing. Be a coyote of character. Okay, know that the district can see what you're doing still, and as you come back, there will be consequences if, that technology was not being used for education and used the appropriate way. So just keep that in mind. As far as communication goes, I have loved all the emails and the tweets and everything that I've gotten, especially from you learners. However, moving forward, we're not doing any live video chatting, Zoom, anything like that. So you can expect me to be teaching you through some pre-filmed videos. So kind of be on the lookout for that as well. And if you have a question, if you could just email me from your parents' email, I can respond to that a lot quicker because I can email them back directly. If I get an email from a learner, I'm going to have to CC the parent on that for just professionalism and that kind of safety net. So it might take me a little bit longer to go in and kind of do that. Okay, so just be aware of that. Our schedule for next week, I'm still kind of working and putting it together this weekend of what is that actually going to look like in Schoology for learners. But what I'm envisioning now is we're going to have a morning meeting kind of course with the daily survey and everything that you're used to doing every single morning, just like normal. Okay, that daily survey will be used for attendance purposes because that's how we get funding as a school, and that's how we can waive some of these days so that we're not doing them in the summer. So we're going to be using that. So make sure that your learner is getting on, doing their daily survey, doing their schoolwork. Okay, it's super important to how our school functions on kind of the back end. Monday and Wednesday are for reading, writing, and science. And then Tuesday and Thursday will be for math and social studies. So you're only getting that content area twice a week, and it's only going to be about 45 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on the content area. Okay, that is intentional. We know that you have a lot going on, and the total school day won't be normal school hours. It will be, I think I counted it. It's like 4 hours max, maybe. And it's got some built-in brain breaks and physical activity and fine arts time as well. Okay, so just keep in mind that we are still reviewing this next week, but then after that we will be moving into new content areas and teaching new content. Okay, so if you like, oh, it's not a big deal if I don't do this distance learning, whatever. If you're not monitoring your kids, they can be sitting on iStation saying that they're doing something, but if the minutes are idle, we can see that, and it does kind of count against us in terms of data. So I did email out the schedule and kind of color coded it and everything so you can see the layout of what we're expecting during those blocks from our kids, so you kind of know what to be helping with and monitoring with and making sure that they're getting done. So the most important things are getting your iStation, Dreambox, and Reflex done for the week. The reason that's so important is that's how we're gathering the most data, because these programs are built for collecting data, and it allows us to also be able to push out individualized lessons and things that will really help support your learner the best during this time. So iStation, 60 minutes a week. It doesn't have to be all in one day, just throughout the week, and we have 15 minutes built in at the end of the day in order to do that. For Dreambox, they're recommending 5 lessons a week, 5 completed lessons. A lot of the time when I'm getting in on Dreambox, I see a lot of kind of started lessons but not finished lessons. It is important, even if it's hard, that you finish the lesson, because if you finish it and it was super hard and you didn't get anything right, Dreambox is going to adjust and give you something that's going to help you become better at math. If you just go in and you're like, oh, this is too hard, I'm going to get out of it, oh, it's boring, I don't like it, I'm going to go to something different, I don't get that data from you, and you're not being supported in an area. Okay, take on that challenge. Just go right in and try it. Okay, so 5 completed lessons a day. We are recommending that you do you could either do 1 a day if that's what you feel comfortable with, but the way that I've kind of built the schedule is you do 2 on Tuesday and 2 on Thursday and then 1 on Friday. So that kind of, it lands on the days where you have math, and then kind of our catch-up day for review and reteach and extension on Friday. Again, this is all kind of just how we're feeling it out. It might change later on down the road, but this is kind of what we're focusing on now. And then also Reflex, we are recommending doing it 3 times a week, and that means 3 times getting that green light. So up in the top right corner, they have that little bubble. If you see that that bubble is not all the way full, it's not lit up green, then that data is not counting towards anything. Yes, they're getting to practice, but it doesn't actually record anything, and it doesn't progress them throughout the Reflex program. So make sure that your kiddos are getting on there and they have that green light. So make them show it to you. You can set a timer. It usually takes around 30 minutes to get the green light. So go ahead and set that timer for them and have them come show you after 30 minutes. Hey, this is my green light. And you'll know because it's super obvious if they have it or not. Okay, if you have 100% fluency on Reflex, a lot of you have grown so much this year and you already have that. You are not required to do the 3 Reflex check-ins every week. You can focus on Dreambox and you can focus on iStation. Okay. As far as writing, if you don't have anything to write on, notebook, journal, napkin, whatever, we are going to let you type in Google Docs. Just be aware that you're going to screenshot and submit versus writing on paper and taking a picture and submitting. My expectations, guys, are still really, really high for you. Okay, I'm expecting you to get in at a certain time, not at a certain time. I'm expecting you to get in and do your schoolwork for that day. Okay, we've made it super simple. You're not having to do as much. So my expectation is that you are putting in the work and doing the work. If you have questions, by all means, if it's a discussion post, if it's an assignment, anywhere, ask that question. Have your parents send me an email, and I will be more than willing to help with that. That's what I'm here for. But you have to do the work first. So don't just sit back there and think that, oh, we're out of school. That means that we get to play games on our iPad all day, and school really doesn't mean anything anymore. It does. Okay. We want you to have that muscle memory when you come back to school, because you don't want to fall behind your peers. You don't want to just, not take this distance learning seriously, and then when you're stepping into 5th grade, you've missed a lot of content that you just didn't feel like doing, and it's going to show in your data, and it's really going to hit you hard when you get to that next grade level and you have huge educational gaps and learning gaps. I don't want that for you. So that's kind of why we've outlined the program this way, and we still have high expectations. So that's kind of an overview of what's coming next week. It might change next week as we get into it and kind of feel out what works and what doesn't work. So just stay tuned for more communication from me, but I'm hoping that this was helpful, and that the schedule will be helpful for you to kind of help set the expectation of what we're going for. And learners, I'm going to be posting the same schedule in Schoology, but we're going to make it more detailed for you, so you really have an outline of what's going on in your day, kind of like the schedule that I did on my board every morning for you. I think that helps you kind of have a visualization of what's going on in the day, just to keep that consistency. One last thing, if you did not pick up your iPad today, I think I only had 2 or 3 that didn't, make sure that you have all of the apps that are on that login sheet that I sent home to you, especially Notability. We use Notability for almost everything, and we will continue to do so throughout distance learning. If you have a tablet, that's perfectly fine. Just be aware that Notability is $9, and it that comes preloaded on the district iPad. It might not come readily available on whatever device that you're using, but we do want them to have access to that, because that's where a lot of our things are going to be housed and kind of done on. If that's not an option for you, you can use the markup tool, but if that is an option that you can kind of consider, I would definitely consider doing that, because it's something our learners are very familiar with. Okay, so that's it for me. Know that I miss you so much, and I'm giving you all the virtual hugs, and this is going to be challenging. It's going to be really difficult. It's going to stretch our brains and our stamina, but we're going to make it through, and it's a learning process for you and me and the whole rest of the world. So it's a really cool opportunity to really dig in deep and try something different, and we're going to get through it. It's going to be awesome, and I am so proud to be your educator, and I'll see you soon, Coyotes. Bye.